What kind of insurance policy do I need for my rental? Now, guys, are you thinking, hey, am I insured right on my rental properties? In this video, I'm gonna be going over, because my past job, before I got into real estate, I actually was an insurance agent. I'm gonna break down what insurance policy you need for your rentals, but more importantly, how most rentals are insured wrong, and this can come back to haunt you. All right, guys, like I said, before I got into real estate, I was doing insurance. I was selling homeowners, I was selling auto, I was selling all these different policies, right, to try and make ends meet. And in doing so, I had this thought at an early stage of getting into insurance. I was like, hey, I think it'd be nice to insure investors. And here's my thought process behind this is, man, they own nice homes, they own nice cars. In fact, not just a nice home, they might own many homes. And so my whole thought process behind this is less is more, right? If I could find one individual that owns not just a home and cars, but also owns the nice toys and also owns like 10 or 15 or 20 rentals, I was thinking, man, this is the best place to start. And so that was my whole beginning of getting into real estate in the first place, and led to me to where I am today. But it started with that process of just insuring these individuals. So I started going to these real estate investor association meetings, right? You hear it called REIA groups. And I would go to these groups and I'd start meeting investors. Now, guys, I was there for my own like selfish reasons. I wasn't there to invest. I wasn't there to learn about real estate or learn about rentals. No, that was so far out of my mind, because I was just singular focused on building my book of business for insurance. And so as I'd start to meet these investors, I'd start talking to them. I came across an individual that had 50 rentals. Now, guys, once I heard that this individual had 50 rentals, at that point I knew this is my guy. Like, I've got to make this guy my actual like golden dream ticket here, that once I get this guy convinced, he's going to share all this knowledge to every other investor in this room and say, you've got to be switching over to this guy because he's going to do the best for you. But here's the cool thing that I learned about this individual that had 50 insurance policies on 50 different rentals. One thing I noticed about these 50 policies is they were all insured by the same company. Now, you might be thinking, man, that sounds convenient, but here's the thing. There's so many different specifics about every home, like the age of the home, or is it a condo versus a single family, one that's involved in an HOA or not involved in an HOA, one that is built in the 70s versus built in 2010. All of these things have a huge difference on what you're going to be able to insure and how you're going to insure it. Every insurance company, they have what's called an appetite. Appetite is what is that fits best for them. So you may talk to this insurance company and their other words like avatar. Their appetite is, we're looking for homes that fit this criteria specifically. Now, they also have what's called non-appetite. Things that are not their avatar, not their perfect client or their perfect home to insure. Now, does that mean they won't insure it? No, they'll insure it, but they won't insure it at the best rates. So appetite is, hey, we love this client, we love and look for this property specifics, and in doing so, you're gonna get our best rates. But on the other side, you're gonna have these other things that are like, we don't like homes that are like this. We don't like homes that are condos. We don't like homes that are this age or older. Now, will we insure them? Yes, but you're gonna get bad rates. Now, because I was what was called an independent insurance agent, what does that mean? An independent insurance agent is one that represents multiple companies versus individual agent, like a captive agent is what they call it. A captive agent is one that just represents one company. Now, what I learned is I started quoting all of these policies, all 50 of them, and it took me a long time. But as I started quoting them, I realized that there were homes that weren't sitting in the appetite of some companies, but were sitting in the appetite of other companies. And then I'd find other policies that were like, nope, it's not a fit here, but it's a fit here. Ultimately, to find the best coverage and to find the best pricing so that I could line it up with the insurance company's appetite, I had to insure all 50 of these properties with 6 different insurance companies. Here are 3 tips that you need to consider when insuring your rental property. Tip number 1 is, instead of being insured by a captive agent, meaning those that represent one company, like an Allstate, State Farm, Farmers, American Family, although they have like intriguing and awesome commercials and like quality jingles, you may find out that because they only have one product to offer, that there's gonna be multiple policies that you can present them that's not gonna fit inside their appetite. Instead, find a local independent insurance agent, one that can represent multiple companies out there, one that's not stuck to just one option, but many options. Now, for you that are maybe a seasoned investor, you're watching this video and you're like, man, I have 12 rentals or 15 rentals or 20 rentals, or like this client, 50 rentals, and every single one of them are insured by the same company. That's probably a good sign that you're not getting the best coverage and you're not getting the best pricing. Tip number 2, make sure that your rental insurance policy is what's called a DP3. That stands for Dwelling Fire Policy. Let me give you the exact definition on this one. If you own a home but do not live in it, then a dwelling fire policy is the right option for you. This might also apply if you own a home but rent out the rooms or the whole property. A DP3 policy covers the structure, loss of use, or rental coverage, and usually personal liability. Having the wrong policy can also raise the risk that should you have to access that policy, make a claim, there may not be coverage for you because it's insured incorrectly. Now, we've all seen some of those horror stories, like you're watching the news, you see this homeowner completely sad, just lost the home to a fire, it's burning, and they're asking them, hey, do you have insurance? Like, yes, I had insurance, but it was insured incorrectly. It was insured because this home used to be my primary home, and then I moved and bought this home, but I kept this home and I turned it into a rental, but I left the insurance the same. I never updated it. And because of that, I just found out that my policy is not gonna cover this fire that just took place. And we've seen this. This is something that happens all the time. Making sure that your property is insured correctly is what's gonna help protect you in the future should you have to access and submit a claim. All right, guys, before I move on to tip number 3, I wanna get some engagement, see where you guys are at. Did you guys know that there actually was a difference between like an independent agent, a captive agent, and what those differences are? What I want you to do, I want you to comment down below and ask the questions that you have about insurance agents, because I read every one of those comments and I also respond to those comments. So comment down below. I wanna see where you're at with this insurance stuff and I'll be replying back. Now for tip number 3, this is gonna be like a 3-part. So the first one is making sure that your policy covers liability, and how you know what level to do that at, because you can do that at so many different price points. A good rule of thumb is always match at minimum your level of net worth. So let's say your net worth is $250,000. What you're gonna wanna do is make sure that your liability protection is also a minimum of $250,000. Now, be sure that your policy covers loss of rents. What is loss of rents? Let me read what it is for you. Rent loss insurance covers the periods of time when a property is uninhabitable due to damage that requires repairs. For example, if a pipe explodes and a house's entire plumbing system needs replacing, it may be unable to support a tenant for several weeks or even months. During this time, a rent loss insurance policy entitles the landlord to receive regular rent payments from the insurance company. Now, a lot of companies do not offer this. This is something that very few offer. So make sure if that's a big, like a win factor for you that you're looking for when you're getting involved in having a great insurance policy, knowing that if something happens to your home and there's a time where your tenant has to move out while you make those repairs, you wanna make sure that you're not making the mortgage payment, but that rent continues to come in and it'll be paid through loss of rents. And the last part of this tip is don't be a slumlord. Take care of your property. Now, the insurance companies, they have the right to non-renew a policy at their own discretion. If they come out and do some kind of an inspection and realize that your shingles are peeling and there's water damage happening, there's mold growing in the house, or maybe the yard's unkept, which could be unsafe and start fires in the future. There's so many different things that you wanna make sure that don't be the slumlord. Be the one that's taking pride in home ownership, in having great rental properties. And in doing so, know that your insurance companies are gonna reward you in return. They're gonna be the ones that say, I want this guy, I love this house, and because of it, you're going to get the best rates. The ones that are all like junked up and cluttered and the rain gutters are dripping or there's a boarded up window, not only are those just declined and non-renewed by insurance companies, the other part of that I don't understand is even if someone will insure it, you're gonna get paying a lot of money for that policy. So take care of it and pay less on your insurance. All right, guys, I wanna give each one of you a free gift, and that is an exclusive all access pass to my deal closing mastery. Guys, this is a 3-pack of my 3 best trainings on how to better your negotiation skills. And ultimately, why I want your hands on that is so that you can get out there even during this economy and keep adding rental portfolio and be able to buy them at a faster pace because you know how to negotiate with the sellers on the spot. All you got to do is just simply click that link down below in the description and it'll get you free access to that 3-pack of Deal Closing Mastery today.